Fresh new best of 5 as we start in the top right-hand side. The blue Terran player here is SpeCial, taking on the red Zerg Solar in the lower bracket round 1 of the Douyu Cup 2020, a $21,000 event we've casted a lot of in the last few weeks. If you guys are enjoying the games, of course, again, hit that follow button, etc. And of course, if you end up watching this on YouTube, maybe it's a really good series, it gets uploaded, do make sure you hit that subscribe button. We've had some great momentum on the YouTube the last few days. Would be great to keep that up. And of course, like the video if you enjoy the games as well. Hope you enjoy the commentary, of course. So, I go into a fresh matchup here, and Solo already begins by saying, "Are you proxy raxing me?" He's going to Drone Scout to really try and make sure of this, and it is something that SpeCial is known for in the Terran versus Zerg. Now, on Ice and Chrome lately, he has thrown out some of the proxy raxes, so not too crazy to be checking for that, I don't think. I think it's actually a very reasonable thing for Solo to be doing. As he pulls this drone back, of course, he doesn't find anything just yet. It's not finding anything. This drone all the way back to the natural and now up into the main. Barracks of SpeCial about to finish up. That'll be a Reaper. Already starting. So, very standard stuff to begin with on Ice and Chrome. Of course, a big map. And a map we really have started to see a lot more mech play on than Bio. Although, a couple of people have still played Bio here and there. A little sooner than expected. Alright, looks as though we are resumed then. So, back to Ice and Chrome we go. As SpeCial will make his way out down to the bottom left side here to begin with. Queens of Solo already building, as we do see this one drone. We'll move over and build a third hatchery in just a moment, and no STV attempting to block that or anything. Reaper is just going to come across pretty honestly here to dance the dance with the Zerglings, you know, that Reaper Zergling dance we see so often. Drone takes a couple of shots there. The Lings do fall back. Bit back and forth as we'll see the Reaper coming back in. Drone going to get popped up. Drone will die. And that's a Ling that gets picked off as well. So Drone and a Ling already going down. Factory about to finish up as the reactor is on the racks as well. Continue to set up in for that. The Reaper kind of wanting to try and get the front here. Green is able to push that Reaper back, so Reaper taking a little bit of damage as a creep tumor goes down. A few Lings wanting to try and move forward as well. We'll really be seeing very soon kind of what SpeCial wants to do. It is double gas. We're not waiting for a 3cc to finish up or anything. I mean, it's after the starport finishes. Basically, do we see a fusion core and move into mech already? Or do we just skip that and do something a little bit more interesting? Maybe try and play Bio on Ice and Chrome. I made a prediction for this one. We've been doing some predictions in the Discord server. And I said I actually think this one does go to Game 5 and Solo takes it 3-2. And I really do see that. I think SpeCial has been very good lately. I think he's really actually, especially in TvZ, been very consistent. So I just feel like Solo edges it out in the end. So that was my read on this game. Love to hear from you guys in the chat as well, what you think the predictions, or what your predictions might be, what you think the score would be. And as you see, a couple of Hellions and the Reaper going to turn back around, and just going to be seeing the Ling speed about to finish up from Solar in the main base. So Ling speed does complete. The SpeCial will go out to the upper right-hand side. Command center is already building up as part of the wall off. There's a Rotoron from Solar in the natural expansion, so it's pretty early, but it's not like super early. What's interesting is, what did he scout already? He scouted the fusion cores. He builds the Rotoron in response. SpeCial's actually started up Liberator range, so he's actually going to go for the lip range here, and this really means that if Solo rescouts as well, it actually looks a lot like a battlecruiser opening where you're getting your Marto, right? Lip range the opening, I imagine you go into Bio off this actually, rather than more mech, because mech of a bit of Liberator harassment just doesn't really do much, right? You kind of need that BC with mech to keep Berserk back and to, deal some harassment damage in the early stages. He is going to add more gases though, so it looks though it will indeed be mech. In that case, I really want to see how SpeCial goes about this transition, because mech absolutely makes the most sense on the map, but off range Liberators, I just don't see how well it transitions and stuff, right? Yeah, look at Solar. You'll see that moving Fusion Core. This is such a... As long as he doesn't see the Liberator popping out, this is actually pretty great for SpeCial, who is basically sending some false information. No, he flies the Liberator straight through the Overlord. I mean, that was... I mean, I guess he's already revealed the first Liberator across the map at this point. Look at the range of those Liberators, though. Just sat behind. Can he actually deny a mineral patch there? The Queens are going to come through, and the Queens, realizing that they may actually not be able to do much. A little bit of a problem as we see Hellions are actually just sat here with enough of them fighting roaches on their own. What is going on at the moment? Things are not looking maybe as they should. A couple of extra drones going down as the Liberator gets a couple of kills. They've actually relocated a little bit to try and back away from the Queens, and 2 Queens do get in range. He gets one of them. Now this Liberator on the top side, on the third base, wants to find similar damage, but the Hellions are being active as well and really looking for an opportunity. Now they're in the natural, and they're going to start running up to the main. Unfortunately, the Queens are there, so the Queens will put some good damage out onto them, and not many Hellions surviving. Only 3 Hellions remain. I don't think 3 Hellions are going to do that much over in this mineral line. He's going to get a couple extra drones. This 9 workers now, that's a 10. This actually did better in this space than I thought it would. This Liberator is actually one of the main reasons, though. This Liberator has 12 kills, actually, so it's killed off a lot. I guess a few of those were kind of maybe some lings and stuff. I can't imagine all of them were drones based on the fact we saw those Hellions at least killing 4 or 5 drones. But being very known for Liberator, and again, I mean, the transition, I was wondering about how it might look and how it might work. Transition's just straight into Hellions and tanks, but does SpeCial know about the Spire? He doesn't. He hasn't seen the Spire in the back of the natural, so there are Mutalisks on the way, and at the moment, SpeCial, okay, he starts an engineering base, so he can then start missile turrets, but he doesn't really have any anti-air at the moment. He's got a couple of Marines, he's got a Liberator building. He's really lacking on the anti-air front, all things considered. Based on where everything else is at in the game, the anti-air from SpeCial really is lacking right now, so he might actually take some serious damage to these Mutalisks before missile turrets get up. I am definitely concerned. Mutalisks will make their way through and jumps onto the couple of Marines. And yep, I mean, he was right to be concerned. SpeCial just leaves the game instantly as he sees the Mutalisks. He's out of here, and Solar takes game number 1. Game number 2, and we will start down in the bottom left-hand side. Make Mutalisks and win is the motto of this player in the series so far. It is Solar in the bottom left. And the top right-hand side, our blue Terran player is SpeCial as we get started in game 2 of the best of 5. Mark's going to be finishing in just a few moments. The Overlord of Solar is out up the left-hand side, and we're seeing Hatch, Gas, and Spawn and Pool continuing in. Reaper is in production at the moment. Orbital Command in the main base. Going to see the natural, obviously very standard. Waiting to see where we go from here on Eternal Empire. Overload up into the natural. We'll have the Reaper of SpeCial continuing down to the bottom left-hand side. Overlord of Solar flying overhead, and just going to be seeing the third hatchery already building in location. Pops out. Reaper gets chased away. And just going to be seeing again a couple of drones coming through. Nothing really too crazy just yet still, of course. It is going to be double gas again from SpeCial. So from the start of this, we will see him not going for fast 3cc. Starboard will already build in the main. The Reaper's going to pick away at the hatchery. Will get rid of the rocks. Just going to be seeing the creep teamers continuing to go down, and again Reaper trying to push things around, forces the Queen to hop up and move around elsewhere. Reaper is just going to continue up as the Liberator of SpeCial sets up in the main base. Again, that Liberator up and running. In the end, he does just go 3cc, so it's that kind of like double gas 3cc where you cut a few Hellions to be able to get the third down nice and quickly anyway. You still then have the starport, so you kind of go like starport 3cc, then you start Hellion production. So yeah, Liberator base harass, I mean, this generally should lead into a bit of bio play. You see Overlord speed once again from Solar, wants to really try and keep an eye on what's going on and exactly what's happening. Drone builds into a spore, we're going to see the couple Hellions from Reaper moving around as well, and the Queens will continue forward, pushing the Reaper and the two Hellions away through the bottom side. Queens push up, Hellions get turned around, and just going to be seeing the Liberator of SpeCial continuing through to the back of the natural. So the will continue through around to the back. Stimpack is going to cancel, so it isn't going to be bio. It is going to be mech again. Oh, SpeCial playing some mind games then. Obviously the Overlord has been in, and you know everything about this screams bio so far. You know, we kind of still would if he hadn't cancelled Stimpack. So SpeCial, I imagine, is going to start adding those factories, and there's the first one in production now. So let's going to go for a rescout through the top side. Make our way toward the main base, the third orbital. Already moving across into position. We'll land down. Melee upgrades already building on the Evo chambers, and there's a Liberator picking away at a few of these drones. He's able to push back the other Liberator. The Liberator gets pushed back too. This Lib going to turn. Overlord going to get pushed away, and the Extractor dropping down. Plenty of Hellions of SpeCial out the front trying to find an opening. And you see 7 drones still in production. The Hellions are going to start picking their way through an evolution chamber then, so Nevo taking some pretty hefty damage. I mean, I like what he's doing with the Libs. This one obviously could have repositioned a little bit better though, because that is just going to be a dead Liberator, so unfortunately that one doesn't really gain too much extra. I liked what he was doing with the Libs then, because I still feel like this one, for example, is still put into a good position and is still trading well. I felt like obviously the main base had so much more potential too, so just try and keep Solar active. And Solar just has no idea that this is mech. Currently going full on into Lingbane. They're about to complete. It's just not really how you want to play against someone who especially doesn't play like a BC or anything, right? Usually you can play like Mutal Lingbane if you kind of, you know, go up against a BC and you push the BCs back early. I feel like Lingbane against someone who's just been setting up from, you know, with mech from the start. Now you see all of these extra Hellions, so now you probably start to realize still what's going on. He just saw a double Spire in 2 different places. That definitely seems like a mistake. So that's money being wasted. He's gonna lose. He's gonna lose the carapace upgrade. The Lings come in. He gets a transfusion off. Now these Hellions are caught in the corner. No way out for them. Oh, that was. It felt so hopeful as well. It's a good bait in the end, really, from Sulla, isn't it? This Liberator gets 9, now 10 drones in total. It's a good bait because he's like, oh yeah, you're gonna kill my upgrade. Oh no, and he's like, jokes on you, surrounded. Oh, jokes on you again. Transfusions. Where is he? Oh, Hellions continuing down. We're also going to be seeing the hatchery already taking some shots. Blue Flame finishes up. So the Blue Flame starts to activate the Cyclone. He's just going to take down an Overlord. So an Overlord gets picked off here. The Lings of Solar going to go moving around to the top of the map. Plenty units of special still out down to the bottom. Then we do see the Lings are going to try and make a play. That's rid of a drone. The rest of these Hellions coming across, picking off a few of the Lings. We do have special continuing forward. Hellions and Cyclones coming through, going to get lock-ons. And that's going to be some of these Queens being picked away at already. We will just cancel. Units of special coming back away. Lings and Banes setting up from Solar. I mean, Solo, despite it being mech, has stuck true to what he set up for. Going to stay on the Ling Bane meter and try and make it work. And I'm not really saying it can't work. We've seen Ling Bane meter work against mech. I just feel like usually it comes off of a world in which you kind of get off to a good start, where you already kind of own the game a little bit, because you kind of catch your opponent building BCs. Let me just shut that down heavily so that harassment doesn't do anything. This is not a game where that has been the case, right? You know, these Liberators were very annoying and very successful. Solar thought it was bio mech for Solar thought it was bio for a long time, and so it was melee upgrades way before we saw meters. And there wasn't a lot of that initial harassment we talked about, so there's been a lot of Hellion Cyclone already on the map now, and that's really good at trading out with the Ling Bane. Did Solar finish the double spire? No, he did realize and cancel one. That's important. He actually gets a kill on the 4th base though. Now he will start to hunt down some of these Cyclones, so yeah, he only manages to kill one. Some Liberators popping too. Well, he gets on top of those. He gets one of them only just. I feel like you do need to kill that, because if the Liberators start getting up into good numbers, that's when the Mutalisk Cloud is just never going to achieve much in the slightest. So you do have to keep that Liberator count under control if possible, and obviously picking off 1 or 2 now when there's only 2 or 3 is absolutely the way to go about it. The army of SpeCial out down to the low ground of 4th base will build and morph into a planetary fortress. A few more Hellions will go down, and the meters going to pull away. The couple of Thors continuing up, and just going to see this army of SpeCial still poised on the front of the 4th base. Mine goes off, the Overseer falls, dropping down dead. It becomes extremely scary now, because obviously you've just got so many Liberators to help fight the Mutas. The Mutas cannot do what they were originally really set to do in this game, and SpeCial's gotten to 4 bases pretty easily with very limited harassment. If you get the 4 bases of SpeCial now, you've got that gas income to really just keep on producing. A couple of Thors though on their own. Need to be careful about where they end up. There's once the game moved around that left-hand side, a couple Widow Mines. Finding a connection as now SpeCial's main army rotates. At the same time, the Mutas are still moving around. The Liberators are onto them though, so they know where the Mutas are going. They just can't magic box against Liberators like they can against Thors. Ravagers up here from Solar to try and fight this. There are the Mutas trying to make an attempt, but it just will not work. This is the thing. Mutas just do not do well against these Liberator clumps. So this cluster of Liberators will win that fight. Suddenly Mutas are removed from the equation, and SpeCial can fully focus on a continued push down the right-hand side of the map and into these bases of Solar that lie on the edges. And these are important bases too. Base 4 and 5. You cannot be losing these against a meching Terran. He's going up to a 5th base as we speak. A couple of Banelings crashing in. The Cyclones responding with the connection. Getting a few lock-ons and getting some kills. SpeCial is still focusing on this right-hand side. The creep dissipating so you can get even closer to these bases. They would also love to be able to deny. All these Liberators, well, the Mutalisks went down, so the Liberators now just start spreading out and harassing, or did they just come and focus on the push, right? If you siege up a whole bunch of Liberators in this area, they could absolutely help to shut stuff down. That's a kill on the bottom right. I think the Libs, I think they just kind of siege up and kind of, you know, look to cover the army. Yeah, they can be corrosive barred down, but if you split them correctly, at the same time, I mean, I think they'd also be great just to siege up a base, especially like a base right now where the Ravagers aren't nearby. The Banelings are going to roll in. That's a dead planetary, so SpeCial losing 11 SCVs and a base for the moment. Of course, that base will be replaced immediately, even if it's not a planetary fortress, so we'll come back. Yeah, I would have loved to see like a Liberator on this base here when you realized there was actually nothing there just a few moments ago, right? I wouldn't have minded that, so one Liberator peels away, sits there. Liberators will continue to push away down the bottom side. The Cyclones are able to kite back and stay safe. A couple more corrosive biles and Liberators going down once more. That's a lot of Zerglings. Continuing to the top side of the map. The siege tanks will continue back and the Lings actually peel away into the 3rd base location. A couple tanks are there and the Lings are able to surround and pick off one and another siege tank. And the scores will continue off and away. Looking good for the moment. This push down on this bottom side has been going for a long time, by the way. You know, SpeCial is just not being cleaned up here for an eternity, it feels like. Some Hellbats going to go pushing through. There's another run-by attempt. And there's just a bunch of tanks here. There will be some friendly fire fatalities, but for the most part, it's being dealt with. The Banes, though, do get on top of the SCR. He went off on a missile turret. The SCVs were all clumped up. Maybe they could have made it there. I don't know if the tanks would have stopped them. Oh, those SCVs. Really feels like they dodged a bullet just then. Solar, again, trading badly as he pushes into this position. The Liberator is just covering and getting so many kills of their own to mix into this. Hellbat's going to come back up this ramp, trying to deny an Evo Chamber we've seen killed, almost killed once in this game. I guess it didn't actually go down. That's how close it was. I was kind of convinced that it was going to fall. Hellbats move over to the natural. The Liberators back away, relocate. Nothing for them to kind of stand up for to try and hold any longer. SpeCial's new army has just been regathering out in front of his 4th base. Taking a 6th base in location, feeling confident, feeling comfortable. And why the hell wouldn't you? You've been trading fantastically this game. Resources lost is massively in favor of the mech player, who has also mined comfortably, and that's the big difference, right? You know, it's been, you know, Solar, mining advantage, but SpeCial's never really been pushed off of his 4 bases. You know, he's always had bases mining continuously, and that's the big part of it, is these Italians just going to dive by. And that's going to be a lot of drones going down. We've also got Liberators starting to set up in other bases too. Some extra damage as well. There's one on the south side, and all said and done, it's 16 drones. And who knows how many Lings that went down here. I mean, Corrupt is starting to take to the field, cleaning up the Liberators, but also with potential of morphing into Broodlords. The Greatest Spire is on the way. Can you get a Broodlords here? Well, I mean, SpeCial seeing the Corruptors should know to maybe start adding a few more Thors into play and answer 2 Broods. Because I think the one thing that can go well for Solar is if he just catches SpeCial off guard, SpeCial unaware of what's happening. But man, even these tanks trade extremely well here. Can't believe 5 tanks survived this with all the friendly fire that was originally going on. So the Liberator just finds somewhere to siege up. One on the natural expansion has a similar story. 20 workers now killed. Solar's just going to leave the game, and SpeCial will tie us up 1-1. Oh, and these games are directly into game number 3. We start on the top right side of the map as we have a best of 5. Continuing with the blue Terran player SpeCial up against the red Zerg. In the bottom left, it is Solar. Well, win this, you get onto match point. Pillars of Gold is not the I mean, I don't feel like this is the most friendly of mech maps, but we have seen a few players attempt it. Obviously, SpeCial faked out the mech last time. Made it look like bio, then he went mech. And what I really what I really expect this time is maybe actually just going into bio, unless he sees the opportunity to again make a play, distract and sell it as something it isn't, and then to pull the switcheroo. And then that's when I can get behind this and be like, oh yeah, this is something that can absolutely work out and whatever, right? So, yeah. Alrighty, well, we set up. Let's see where things will be going. As Reaper shows up, and we'll dance with the Zerglings. Let's get this one started up. We'll just back away quite friendly. Nothing overly aggressive or anything, by the way, as well, from... Nothing overly aggressive here, really, from either player. We haven't seen Solar crank down an early Rotron or anything to try and take advantage of the game, or anything along those lines just yet. I think it's pretty cool. Getting to see like a real set of macro openers. Man, Solar really will just go for the overload speed again, though. Solar just loves trying to pick up this early game information. Yeah, you reckon there's a way to really punish this as well? Because I think if you try to punish this as SpeCial, what could you really do? It's something like super fast. This is a second factory out on the map, by the way, so that Blue Flame Hellion build I'd expect. I imagine I mean, he's been punishing it by trying to, switch up, and the overload speed scouting, it sees one thing and then he makes a switch. But then... I mean, it is gas invested early, it is less queens, it won't be a faster lair. Maybe just like a straight plug Banshee opener could be decent against this, right? Something that just is going to be good at harassing. The lair's a little later, so that sort of stuff doesn't go up so early. Yeah, I can definitely see a few ways that plays out, actually, as we do see the Hellions out down into the center of the map. Well, for the moment, the initial scout of Solar was resulting in a dead Overlord, but he gets into, again, see what looks like a bio go setup. So I guess it really does just answer my question itself. This is how you punish it. You play a very tricky style where you tell Solar this is something that it isn't, time and time again. Now proxies the armory. Oh no, Solar's gonna find... Oh, he just sees it as well. He sees the factory, he sees the tech lab. That's massive for Solar, because now he has a much better idea of what's going on. At least he should. He should build a Rotron. He builds a Spine Crawl already in the third base. He does realize that, right? That's not one of these things where he's just not looked at his mini-map. If there was a player who's had bad mini-map awareness in the past, it has been Solar. I've seen him scout a proxy racks and not realize it once because it was on the mini-map. I really hope Solar has realized what's going on. The Spine Crawl in the third isn't necessarily a... I think he knows, right? Because he's making a lot of Lings, he's making Banes. I would have maybe expected to see a Rotron, but as long as you have enough Banes to crash into all the Hellbats, I think this is also fine. The Hellions move up and the Lings get turned away pretty quickly. No Blue Flame just yet. Spire starts as a Dropper Lord to set some Lings off into the main base. I like that too, as the Hellions pulling back, turning back around to get a Baneling. And now some drones will also start to drop, so some good damage so far. I'm really afraid of what SpeCial is going to have happen to him with that drop, because he doesn't have anything back at home to help fight this. He's going to try bring the medevac back across, but he loses 3 of the Hellions inside. I just don't think this is going to do enough at all from SpeCial. The Spine Crawl is actually holding out and doing a lot. The Lings into the mineral line, and as mentioned, there's just nothing there to really defend it, so SpeCial's going to lose way more SCVs than he was able to kill. That's 8 workers down, and SUV's low HP, ripe for the picking later. The Queen's got on top of this Liberator. It goes down. He'll make a move forward, and he will pick off one of the Queens here as they run out of transfusions. It's not going to be enough, and Solar will take game 3 and go up to the 2-1 lead, retaking the advantage in the series. GG's. Well played. As we have got in the bottom left-hand side, the blue Terran player, this is SpeCial. Down a map and needs to win 2 in a row if he wants to close this series out and advance through to the next round of this lower bracket. After he had a great group stage, a close series against Zest yesterday. Finds himself here right now. What can he do about it? Is in the bottom right. We have got the red Zerg player Solar here on Golden at Wall. Thank you so much, Om Nom Nom Nommy, the 2-month resub as well. Welcome back to this great casting. Thank you so much. Glad you're enjoying, as we are obviously, potentially last map of this series, our second series of 4 today. So it's not a crazy long stream today, guys. Just as a heads up, it is pretty chilled out. There's 4 best of 5s. I will be not live tomorrow either. I've got a couple of things planned in my real life. But I will be back on Thursday with some WardiTV European League qualifier action. So, and Douyu Cup actually. It's a double whammy. So Thursday will be one of the longer streams once again. Just a quick heads up as to what will happen this week in terms of scheduling. Well, there's going to be having the Overlord of Solar moving across the left side. Into a SpeCial and a natural expansion. Really not much to say just yet, my friends. Of course, Golden Wall. Never an interesting map. I like that Solo's already mining out this bottom side. I wonder if he's going to take his third base out on the bottom here. Solo has been one of the players to be a bit more experimental with this side of the map than a lot of other players. And I think he is maybe thinking about that third out on the bottom. We will see. Yeah, he's going to mine a few more minerals. No! He had minerals aboard him. And he's just going to take those minerals into the hatchery for good luck, I guess. Kind of a conundrum, isn't it? If a drone has minerals when it makes itself into a hatchery, why can't it return those minerals when it's finished making? I guess because it's inside the hatchery rather than being like, these drones deliver it into these little holes here and it gets sucked up inside. But I guess it's really like in the heart of the hatchery. So how can you actually use it to build anything? It makes sense. But then again, how do minerals help you make Zerg units anyway? Like, what about a mineral allows you to make one of these little guys, right? That doesn't really make sense, does it? Like, do they just absorb the life of the mineral? Is there something in the lore about this? Do they just absorb the life of the minerals and just be like, ah, now we create it into, like, Zerg life? I don't know. That's, and now I wish I hadn't asked the question, because now I've got so many questions. Hey, from SpeCial, this is actually going to be 8 Marines, so he's actually not built any Hellions yet, and Solar will see that. First game, Solar has not gone for Overlord speed, by the way. Gotta say, credit to Solar, that persistence and scouting last time around really paid off. Obviously, getting to see that factory in the top side, even after thinking it may have been bio. SpeCial may be trying the same trick too many times in a row. Well, this time Solar just says no need for Overlord speed. And it's interesting because SpeCial's actually going to hit with 14 Marines and a Widow Mine with the 2 medevacs. So this isn't a 2-1-1. It looks like a 2-1-1. It's kind of like a fake 2-1-1. Something that Youth Thermal first popularized years and years ago. It was kind of the predecessor to the 2-1-1, actually. And then when 2-1-1 came around and we never really saw this build again. Been a little bit off from SpeCial, not having the extra 2 Marines to fill that medevac completely, but the follow-up to this can really go into just mech, and that's actually the way that Youth Thermal likes to use this nowadays as well. To build up these medevacs and then to and this bio drop, but then to actually play mech behind it. And as you can see with the fusion core building, Special looks as though he's going to be having a similar idea. Now, he's building a Banshee. I don't expect that Banshee to really do anything. I expect that Banshee to maybe even just cancel, and there it is, because the idea is you build the Banshee in case there's a roach attack coming. When he realizes there's a lot of lings, there's no roach attack on the way, he cancels the Banshee, doesn't need it for safety, and now he can just get away with building the BC. So he isn't going to take any damage, and he gets up to that battle cruiser rather safely in the end indeed. Lings getting out down to the bottom side. You see a Balin S still coming through, about halfway done. The lair building in the main. Yeah, the two medevacs of Special are already going out into the center. The few Marines will unload. Widowmine getting set up. Special will bring some Marines forward. Gets a creep tumor already. Ooh. Nice connection. Widowmine taking down some Zerglings, huh? That was a really nice Widowmine connection right there. As you see our Marines, Widowmine, all setting up here from Special. So dropping those down as we're going to be seeing the army of Special continuing forward. There's a BC blinking into location. It is on the natural expansion. So no Spore Crawler ready just yet, and that's maybe catching Solo a little bit off guard. 3 drones already down. The Queens do now respond. Of course, there's plenty of Queens, but to get 4 drones and be out of there with very minimal damage taken already really keeps up your opportunities in the future. Taking some damage. You're going to see the other Queens of Soul coming in, pushing that BC to the back, and Helene's just going to dart the main base. So Special really looking for some more damage here. Oh, yeah, Ling's actually doing a good job of stopping the drones going down. It's a good effort to only lose 2 more drones. BC's still a threat to the top side, and there are going to be more BCs popping. So your model cannon follow-up as well. It's going to be a mech for a 4th time in a row. I'm actually shocked to see this much mech out of Special. I did expect to see a little bit more bio play somewhere along the way. So this amount of mech is definitely catching me a little off guard as Overseer shows up. Drops a changeling as the BC just teleports back across the map. That was funny. That's kind of funny. Like, this BC's like, yeah, about to finish the job. He's like, actually, nah, you can live. Could have killed off the changeling as well. I mean, it just means that extra, not really much more information we gathered from Solo, but Overseer lives. I actually don't like this BC teleport because there's mutas on the way. Does Special just never see the Spire? Where is the Spire? Back to the 3rd? Oh my god, he never saw it. So Special doesn't even think there's a Spire up, which means that he actually believed he could teleport this BC across and get it back home safely. That is not the case at all. This BC will go down, and that's a major pick-off for the mutas right away. You know how big of an issue it is trying to get rid of these BCs usually. So to get rid of one just like that, oh, that's a big win here from Solar. He will like that. He'll be very happy with that as he builds a few more Mutalisks and continues to rally them out. Over to the left-hand side. Cyclones get some lock-ons. Muta's taking a little bit more damage. Muta already going down. The Cyclone's still building up here in the main. A couple extra Widow Mines are about to pop out as well. Rax going to take quite a few shots as the Mutas fly in. Rax will take a lot of hits as the Lings get us around, and that will go down. So the barracks picked up pretty much immediately. We do see the creep tumors continuing to spread forward. Just seeing all of those Mutalisks of Solar out down to the bottom side will maybe make a bid for the main base. Now, there is a BC already on the way in the main, so continuing to produce BCs, they will be actually pretty useful at helping to defend these Mutas. Turns onto one here. The Armada cannons line up, and that's going to be double kills. What's interesting this time is obviously Solo kind of figured out his mech much faster. Still will play this kind of Mutiling Bane style, similar to what we saw in Eternal Empire, but it is much more of kind of what I talked about then, where it was like, because he knows it's mech from the start, he's built up the mutas earlier instead of the upgrades. You know, he's prioritized differently. I think that's what allows you to get, you know, off to that rolling start, that big, you know, that big start that is really good for you. To then kind of play on for the rest of the game. These mutas are going to take another turn out down to the bottom side. Cyclone's coming up, couple lock-ons already, and that's going to be 2 dead Zerglings. The feeling is into this mineral line as well. SCVs will be pulled to fight. Another command center on the front, and the Mutalisks looking to say hello and what's up in the main base. SCV and the missile turret go down. Infernal Pre-Igniter gets denied. As well, just pick off another couple of tech labs. Yamato's going down. Is going to see the BCs taking more damage. Cyclones are here. They have some good lock-ons against these Mutalisks. Mutalisks taking a lot of damage and will be pushed away. Drones get chased around the main as the Hellions come in chasing as well. Other Lings coming through, and they're actually going to go for a lot of SCVs. 5 SCVs going down. A big army into the center of the map. The Muta's going to turn back around, jumping onto the battle cruisers once again. He's actually going to get one of them before they teleport back. So again, removing units from the game that could really do a lot when it comes to kind of a longer scenario here. Widowmine actually gets a few Lings as there's still SCVs dropping on the third. We just get the... I don't know if that was a missile turret, I think, in the main base there. Another BC lines up Yamato. 2 of the BCs to the top, though, so I really think these Mutas can come back into the main and fight this. I mean, it's definitely scary, the Cyclones, but if this BC goes down, it's going to go down. Doesn't teleport it in time. I think it's worth a couple of Mutas to trade out, right? Because, again, you're taking away so much control. But, go get the BC. It's super low HP. Solar didn't realize I had no teleport as well. He doesn't realize how easy of a kill that is. Somehow that Widowmine was attached the entire time. Didn't go off. Finally makes the turnaround. He finally gets the BCs, and the Mutas are going to overrun SpeCial. He will not survive, and Solar takes the 3-1 victory, and Solar is going to join the lower